Hey everyone, I'm Tracy.
And I'm Essence.
And you are just have the sweetest little voice. This is another round we're having to Tracy and Essence. You sound like the tinkling of glass on a freshly shampooed
rug. You give
rug.
the best compliments.
I try, girl.
You give the best compliments. Thank you.
Of course. We are so excited to have BuzzFeed's beauty editor, Essence Gann, in the studio with us today as my guest host, my co-pilot. Hey girl, how you doing?
I'm good.
Her hair is just like, oh my God. And her makeup is always like, how can I do this as well? And just like, just beautiful. You were just graceful and just glowing. And
Tracy,
I just want to be like you.
Also, first off though, like your wingtip game, your eyeliner is like on another level. So I will tell people that because they need to know.
Oh, it's the only thing I know how to do. I'm so glad you noticed it.
It's amazing.
Dude, we have so much great stuff in today's episode. I had the pleasure to sit down and talk to Ava freaking DuVernay.
Oh my God.
Which I still can't believe.
She's such a goddess.
She is just a delight. So we're going to have that interview. I have a story. I haven't done what happened was in a while. Mm-hmm. There was this thing that had happened. So I'm going to tell that to y'all. And Essence is going to answer some of your style and beauty and makeup questions.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Let's do it.
Me too.
Essence, I want to talk a little bit about you and your interests. What drew you to like the beauty field?
I feel like I've always kind of been obsessed with beauty in general. Like it was in my family. Like my grandmother was a hairstylist. My sister is a hairstylist, owns a salon. So I was just always kind of like in that environment, that atmosphere. And like I was that girl, looking at every Ebony magazine. I don't know if y'all remember, but like back in the day, Ebony had this issue and like in the back of the magazine, it would be like all the HBCU queens, like with their crowns.
Yes, I remember that.
Oh my God, it was so inspired. And which I actually, because of that, went to an HBCU and was like the HBCU queen. I was determined. I was like, I will be that person. But like,
where did you go? Wait,
I went to Albany State in Georgia.
Okay, and you're from?
I'm from Augusta, Georgia.
South in the house.
Yeah,
yes.
South. What up?
Hey.
But I was just always obsessed with like, beauty and not necessarily just like the, the physical part of it, but just like, when you feel beautiful, you're unstoppable.
Yes,
like there's
girl.
Literally nothing you can't do. Like
nothing,
when you
nobody can tell you.
Nobody can tell you anything. Like when you feel beautiful, you just do good stuff. Even when I didn't know what it was, when I was too young to know what it was, I recognized the like, that part of it. And I was attracted to that in other women, like beautiful women. It wasn't necessarily just like, oh, I like her hair. It was like, she walks like she is somebody.
Right, like she radiates
like
something.
you radiate it. Like it's so powerful. It's just, and I feel like, I guess in short, like that's the thing for me. I just love the power of it. Like it blows my mind. It's just so amazing.
Yeah. I just can't imagine having a head of hair like yours. It's just so like thick and it's just so just healthy looking. When did you go natural?
I was like maybe like 23 or something. And so my sister who, the one, the stylist or whatever who owns the salon, she was like, I'm not putting any more relaxers in your hair. What? And I was like, how dare you tell me what you're going to do to my hair?
Right.
Like, no ma'am. But she was serious and she didn't do it. And she was like, you do not need a relaxer. No one needs relaxers. Like she's one of them. So I was probably fully natural in like 2010. I cut all my hair off. I just like cut the rest of it off. So it was kind of low. And then I just let it grow out. But before that, like I would get relaxers. I got relaxers probably pretty late. I may have been like,
really?
Yeah, probably like 12 or 13 or something.
That's late?
I think
that's when I got mine at 12.
Yeah, I know girls that were like 6, like with their Just For Me.
Yes.
Remember Just For
gosh,
Me?
The Just For Me.
And it came with the cassette tape. What?
Yes.
So
I will sing the entire song for you right now.
Yes.
I know the whole thing still.
Oh my God, please sing it.
Let me take a sip. This one is for all my little black girls growing up in the 90s. If you know the selection, won't you please sing along?
This one is out to you guys.
I want style, body and shine. A look that's totally all mine. Hair so soft, silky and free. I want something just for me. Just for me.
Go,
no lie
Tracy.
conditioning,
Go,
relaxer
Tracy.
cream. Just for me. For permanent and styling that's worry free. JUSTFORME. Try the Just For Me No Lie Conditioning Relaxer System today.
God,
Created in part by mothers, especially for their daughters by Proline.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
That
Yes,
was
thank
so
you.
amazing.
Thank you. I'm usually really bad at accepting compliments, but I deserve this one. So
You
I'm
deserve
gonna,
it.
I'm gonna accept it. Thank you.
Just for me. No light conditioning relaxer cream. Just for me. For calming and styling that's worry.
You can tell like the stuff that you write about, like you got, like you wrote a post about Solange going off on Twitter because a company forgot to order her or send her
weave.
bundles on time,
Right.
you know? So tell me why this sort of stuff is important to you.
For me, it's important because I just feel like when it comes to beauty and, style, Black women are just so left out of the conversation. Oof. And I am like, for one, tired of being left out of the conversation. And I've never been one to like ask for things or like, so it's just like, okay, if you're going to leave me out of this conversation, that's cute. And I'll just start a conversation of my own. And like, because I'll probably tell it better anyway, since I am a Black woman. And so that's why those stories are so important to me. We owe it to our celebrity women too, like women who put their, life out like that in the public eye. And, it's also my way of showing them, like, I appreciate you. I see what you do for us. I see how you represent Black women and hold us down. And this is just, for you to know that, like, we see you.
And also it's telling everybody else that we exist too.
Exactly.
Who are you envisioning as your audience? Who do you write for?
The ones who are also interested in beauty and style and fashion, just like so many other women, but can't go to Vogue and find it and see themselves.
Oh my gosh.
I always talk to the Tamikas and the Sharondas. And like when I say that, yes, Mika. I say that because I feel like, we get so much shit. Like Black women just get so much shit. Like, we don't look good enough. We don't whatever. But yet we are like the cornerstone and the blueprint for so much, like when it comes to like beauty and style, like we are the inspiration. But Tamika in, Augusta, Georgia, from where I'm from, or in Chicago, or who, like, she may never be on the cover of Vogue, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to be. And so I'm writing to the girl who, may not ever see herself in like the most coveted, magazines or whatever. And I just want that person to know, like, you don't have to wait for anyone to affirm you. Like, you don't have to wait for whoever to tell you like you're beautiful or you're stylish or you're fashionable. Like you can just look around. Like you see yourself on the runway. It's not it's not the same color, but you see yourself on the runway every fashion week. Like I literally, I forgot which season it was, but it may have been like Valentino's show, but it was like a whole bunch of white girls walking down the runway in cornrows and quote unquote African tribal print like outfits. So it's just like you see yourself on it. It's not you, but you know what I'm saying? So just know that like, in some weird kind of twisted way, like there's beauty in that because it's just like, okay, I'm the shit. Like I see you copying. Right. I see
I'm
you
inspiring literally an entire society.
Right. I'm like literally the world.
I feel like I can do anything right now.
Yes.
Let's go.
And you can. Let's go. Let's do it. Set it off on Shouts out to Set It Off, the movie.
I love it. We're going to put a bunch of your pieces in the newsletter as well.
Woo woo.
So we put out a call for questions on Twitter, asking people to send us their beauty and style and et cetera questions. We got some really, really good ones, and we'll see how many we can get through. So there were a few questions about acne, right? I never learned to deal with acne because the pill fixed it, and I identify heavily with this too. I have always had horrendous hormonal acne, and the only thing that would fix it was birth control. That's actually the only reason I started taking birth control, because Lord knows I was not getting none. I just needed my skin. But she says now she's off the pill. Skincare is overwhelming. How does she start? Another woman says, I'm a dark-skinned girl with acne scars. What can I use to even out my skin tone? So this is clearly a thing that's on a lot of people's mind, especially when you have melanin factored in. That's when like scarring becomes an issue. What advice do you have to these two ladies?
Okay, so here's the thing with acne. There is no cure-all. Like, there's no one thing that is just going to work for everybody because the cause of it, like, varies from person to person. The thing with acne, you really need to see a dermatologist.
Yes.
Like, you have to go to a dermatologist because what a dermatologist will do is, like, help you narrow down, like, okay, what is the cause of, like, my acne. Like, also there are different types of acne. So like you don't want to just, listen to a blogger, or even, I don't care who is telling you, if it's a beauty editor somewhere else, like you have to go see a dermatologist. It's your skin. Like, your skin is an organ. Like, it's literally like going to the doctor. If you had something else going on, like if you had cancer, you wouldn't write in to a health editor.
What do I do about my
cancer?
cancer?
I do about my cancer? Like,
that's a good point.
You have to go to a doctor. Like, it's your body. So, melanin is a factor, and Black women are more prone to like hyperpigmentation. So like when we do have a scar, it a lot of times will leave behind like a dark mark. And there are things that you can do for that, but that may actually block your pores. You don't know. Like, you don't know how your skin, exactly, it will make it worse. You don't know how your skin will react to it. So that is honestly the answer. Like, you have to see a dermatologist when it comes to acne. There's no way around it at all.
I wonder if there are dermatologists who specialize in like melanated skin. Do you know if that's true?
I don't know, but what I tell Black women, or Black people in general, is like, go to a dermatologist, a Black dermatologist, or someone with like brown skin, because they can better, I feel like, sometimes advise you when it comes to hyperpigmentation and like scarring,
because they know so much better how that skin behaves because they have it.
They have that skin. Exactly.
All right, we're going to switch from beauty and skincare to hair.
Yes, love hair.
Coco Goddess. I pronounce it that way because it's spelled COCOGAWDES.
It's definitely goddess.
Definitely goddess. She says edge control suggestions for girls with 4C hair. I'm assuming that's what type 4 is. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Or just type 4. I'm really bad at hair types. So
I understand what she's saying. And I mean, and she needed to, use it to clarify, for her hair. But it's just basically a tighter curl pattern. Like, I have 4 hair. Like, my curl pattern is very tight. I recommend ORS Edge Control Organic Root Stimulator, their olive oil edge control. ORS. I have it on my edges right now. My hair is in an afro puff, and I have it on my edges right now. I love that. I have been using it for years, and who put me on it was the actress Tasha Smith. I interviewed her when I was at Hype Hair. And we were just
used to work at Hype Hair? Oh my God,
yes.
You the realest.
That's my first job.
Shit. Oh my
Shout out
gosh.
to Hype Hair.
Does it still exist?
It does still exist.
What? I'm going to go buy me one today.
It does still exist. So I was interviewing her for Hype Hair, and we were just talking, beauty products, and she was like, girl, let me tell you about that ORS. She said, honey, it's a perm in a jar. Because she was natural too. She's like, it's like,
and her hair is always laid.
Always laid. She was like, it's a perm in a jar. She was like, you put that stuff in your edges and it looked like, you just got relaxed. And it's so good. I recommend ORS. And what I do sometimes, if I want my edges super, super laid, I'll put it on in the morning, when I'm getting ready. And that'll be like the first thing I do after I like wash my face and all that stuff. And then I'll put a scarf on and then take the scarf off.
If you lay it with a scarf.
Yeah. Sometimes it just depends on how laid you're trying to be. Like, what's your level of slayage? What are you rooting? Where you trying to go? What are you trying to do? So, but put on a scarf. And I don't know, what this person is willing to do. But, sometimes laid edges comes with a sacrifice. And I have definitely got on that train with my scarf on. I have walked to work with a scarf on and took it out right before I walked into the building. But that's just me.
I thought the sacrifice was going to be like your edges might thin or something. You talking about accidentally going to work in a scarf?
No, I'm talking, yeah. But no, also that too, though. So you have to be careful because a lot of them, I'm not sure if ORS does, it probably does, but a lot of them have like alcohols in them. I probably use it more than I should, but I wouldn't recommend necessarily putting on your edges every single day. Okay. Because it can over time.
So do you like wet your hair beforehand, or do you like use like a oil or something underneath it?
I will normally spray it with a spray bottle. I'll spray my hair.
Just like regular water?
Yep, just regular water. I've put oils in there before. It's just nothing I kept up because I'm very lazy. Like, I just need a simple routine. So I'll put like some water in a spray bottle, spray my hair in the morning, put a little, like, I'll just like kind of put my finger in there, get like just a little dab on my finger, and then just kind of like put it across like my hairline, and then just brush it in and put on my hairband if I'm, wearing an afro puff. And if I want it super laid, put on a scarf. But yeah, I always recommend to do it on like damp hair at least. It just makes it easier to move too, so it's not like snapping and breaking.
Essence, we got so many questions for you. I, like nearly any other Black woman, could talk about hair and beauty stuff all day. But unfortunately, we have the rest of the show to do. I know. But hopefully
so
this means...
hard.
Oh my gosh, to say goodbye. So since you will be coming back to join us, that means that you, dear listeners, will have several opportunities to get your questions answered by Miss Essence Gant. So send us your questions, anotherround@BuzzFeed.com via email, or if you want to tweet us at Another Round. Essence, this has been great. We're not letting you go yet because we still have more fun to have.
I don't want to leave. I want to stay here forever.
Okay, we live here now. Yay! We're going to chat more with Essence later in the show, but first we're going to take a short break, and then when we get back, we'll play my interview with Ava DuVernay. Stay tuned. This next woman needs absolutely no introduction, but I'm going to give you one anyway. Her name is Ava DuVernay, and she is the director of the acclaimed film Selma. And she's also the woman behind the much-anticipated drama Queen Sugar, which you can watch on Oprah Winfrey's network, OWN. She's also just like very casually besties with Oprah, you know. No big deal. Just hanging out on Oprah's Hawaiian farm on the weekends. Like it's all good. Why not? I would if I could. She is the first Black woman director to have a $100 million budget to make a movie, and that movie is A Wrinkle in Time. She's got her own Barbie doll, and I had a chance to sit down and talk to her about her hair, about saying no, and about microaggressions, and about so many other things. So without further ado, here is my interview with Ava DuVernay. I am here with the lovely Miss Ava DuVernay. Thank you so much for agreeing to talk to me.
Thanks for having me.
How
happy
are
to meet
you?
you. I'm happy to meet you.
You as well.
I follow you on Twitter.
We're Twitter buds.
You're Twitter famous.
Oh.
So I'm happy to meet you.
Oh my gosh. So this was a great interview. We can stop it here. This is all I needed. So I want to talk to you, obviously, about a million things. Let's start with Queen Sugar.
Okay.
What struck me about the show is how beautiful it is, like just physically stunning, and how amazing all of the Black people look in this movie. And when it comes to, so there are a lot of, I think, very intimate, sexy scenes in it, even though there's not like a lot of sex. Everybody just looks like the skin, like the light is just bouncing off the skin. And I swear I can, like, you can smell Rutina's cocoa butter in that opening
shea
scene.
butter?
Yes, you
It's
really,
true.
really, really, really can.
Oh, I love it.
And you can just tell that like there's a Black woman behind it, because usually in intimate scenes in other movies, they're like kind of like video-ish and kind of like raunchy. So I'm really, really curious, what does intimacy on set look like for you?
Yeah, I really dislike sex scenes. So you've never seen me do a thrusting sweat, someone bent over with sprawled out scene in anything I've done. Just because I think the sexiest moments are what comes before and after. Because the middle's pretty much, we all know that part.
Right, we know what happens.
Yeah, we know. But in variations, that part is kind of the shared part. But the intimacy and the intricacy and the imagination comes in what's before and after. So this moment that you see opening up Queen Sugar is an after. Charlie has a before. And oh my goodness, as the series goes on, I'm just thinking about all kinds of things we play with. But when I am constructing a scene, my imagination goes to really interesting places. And aren't I lucky that I get to play them out on screen with beautiful people?
Yeah, and we're lucky that we finally get to see ourselves in like a different light when it comes to stuff like that, especially Black women. The casting crew of Queen Sugar is mostly of color, right?
Women and people of color, yeah.
Women and people of color. We say all the time, it's not hard to do that. It's not racist to leave white folks out. It's not hard to look for a more diverse voice. Why do you think people screw this up so badly? Like, why is it hard for white folks to just do the thing and get the thing over with?
It's not the way the system is built. It's not built to include, folks that are not part of kind of that inside, that infrastructure. And so I think, there are spaces that have been very monocultural for a very, very long time. And so to ask people to change that is, there's a problem in that very sentence that they have to be asked to change.
Yeah.
And so what I'm really interested in, I think this era that we're in is about, just educating people and bringing awareness to the fact that you are diminishing yourself. It's kind of like that great Zora Neale Hurston line, how can anyone deprive themselves of the pleasure of my company, my imagination, my ideas, what I have to bring to the table, my history, my legacy, my eyes. And so there's just this whole swath of people who have been left out of the process.
Absolutely.
So, I hope that we're in a moment where enough conversation about awareness has been happening for the last couple of years, that forward-thinking people who are non-Black, men who are not women, people who are not from the LGBT community, people who are young, who need to regard, older actors and creatives in a certain way. All of the isms that are out that we're talking about start to be something that the privileged take on to fix, as opposed to the marginalized having to be the instructor.
Right. It's so tiring. Teaching is such a tiring job.
Yeah,
and
it
I'm
is.
always like, talk to your folks, talk to your cousins. I can't do it anymore. There have been some folks who have sort of opined on the current state of Black film, Black media, et cetera, and they don't feel very positive or hopeful about it. What do you think? What do you think of the current state of Black film today?
It is a living thing, Black cinema. It is a living thing that has endured and survived under duress since, the beginning of the last century, with no help, with no tools, with no focus, with no attention, with no water, no sunlight. And still the images have been made by people long before us. And so I do feel that there are beautiful things happening in the space, because there's always been. And whether or not they're amplified in the ways that we have come to measure achievement with certain awards and certain box office, or if they come through the true reward, which is creating images that speak to our humanity and our dignity, I see that happening. I see it happening in the independent space. I see it happening in the digital space. I see it happening in the fine art space. I see all kinds of films, installations, music videos. The storytelling is happening. It's reflective. It's restorative. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
So I think about it much more positively. I think when people opine about it being something that is going wrong, I always ask them, what's your measuring stick? Because if your measuring stick is statues, your measuring stick is, studio money, then that might be the wrong stick. Now, I say that knowing that I have more access to those things than other people, but it wasn't always that way. I found joy in making films for $10,000, $50,000, my own money, scraping, loaning. The joy of just making it, and there's nothing better.
Yeah. I watched your comments at the LA screen, I think, of Queen Sugar, and you got very emotional when you were talking about being able to have taken your time with this project. Why did you get so emotional?
Because I think I always thought that telling stories inside of a studio framework or a network framework was gonna be a bad experience. I don't know, when you're indie, you're just like, I can be free because I'm indie and no one's telling me what to do.
Right.
And the studio is a big, bad thing. And, people sell out and they get that studio money and all that stuff. And so I never wanted to be that, because I didn't want anyone putting me into a box, dampening my voice. And in this process with OWN and Warner Brothers, and the process with my current project at Disney, and the process with Netflix on my documentary, I just have worked with people who I either had it way wrong all this time, which I really don't think I did, or there's a new era in thinking about, a new, fresh air around how to deal with artists, how to be inclusive, how to really promote freedom of voice. And so I'm just having a great time working with all these studio entities. And I'm like, am I a sellout? Or have they changed? Or was I wrong? What's going on? But
do you ever feel like a sellout sometimes?
No, because I feel free in what I'm doing. I'm still saying what I'm going to say. I think I'm selling out if I go into a room and I'm trying to say something and nah, not that. And I'm like, okay, just give me the check.
Right.
I'm in these rooms and I was like, this is what I want to do. And they're saying, okay. And that's fantastic.
So in that same set of comments, you referred to yourself as an indie baby.
Yeah.
What does being an indie baby
Well, that's how I
mean?
started. We have some filmmakers that started in the studio system. Filmmakers of note who just always had money and always had resources, and then also always had that structure. I started independently. No one gave me money for a long time. I would work check to check and put that into my films. I would take the money that I earned from one movie and flip that and put it in another movie. Just living on ramen for a minute.
Ooh, ramen.
And, when you put a little butter in it and a little salt and pepper, it's not that bad. Chop up a little green onion.
Right.
It can be done. And so I think, it's, I'm proud of those roots because I think part of the reason why I can walk into meetings and talk with my studio partners now with a sense of freedom and a sense of real conviction and not letting go of the things that mean a lot to me and getting a good response is because I feel like I could always walk away. Like it's not an empty threat. Like I just won't do it this way. If you know what I mean, if I feel like I'm not being myself, not to threaten or hold anything hostage because there's always collaboration, but and compromise. But I don't feel like anything I'm doing has been distorted to fit into some studio mandate, and it's because I always know that I can make something on $2 in a paperclip. Always.
That's awesome. I feel like a lot of women of any color, any background, have trouble saying no. This is not for me. No, I don't want to do this. How and when did you become comfortable saying no? This isn't for me.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, that's a tough one. It's a great question. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know when, but I know how just came from a real feeling of a real knowing that life is short. I mean, it's just too short. You know, we've all lost people. We've all seen, but we don't know what the day. We don't know when the last day is. So why on earth would I spend any days doing something that I don't want to do if I don't have to? Now, we all have to work. We all have to do things we don't want to do. But really, when you have a choice to make about what you're going to pursue and not pursue, like, what if this was your last day? So I just try to make whatever I'm making, just try to enjoy it. Try to work with people who are nourishing and as much as you can. If I fight for that. And so if I have to say no to you just because the energy ain't right, and I really don't look forward to seeing you every day, but that's cool, and that check is cool, and I like the project, but you bug me.
Yeah.
I just gotta say no.
Ugh.
I don't know what to say. It's horrible.
No,
but sometimes we have to be
amazing.
selfish, because, life is precious, and every hour is a gift. I really feel that way. I try to cram in as much life in a day as I can.
I also feel like saying no is a really, really, really big part of self-care. And we talk a lot about self-care on the podcast because, like you were saying, life is too short. Yep. And especially as Black women, like, we have so much shit to deal with. Like, why not, like, take a moment when we can grab a moment? Why not get ourselves out of a situation that we don't want to be in?
Right.
When things get tough for you, when you get very stressed out, how do you take care of yourself?
I'm not good at that.
Interesting.
Not good at that. And I'm in a real moment right now where there's a lot going on. I just come in from the red eye. I come straight from the studio. I'm doing Queen Sugar in the mornings and at night. During the day, I'm at Disney. I'm still overseeing the doc. I mean, it's just like I've got the Smithsonian project. I got press for this and that. And you can go about the day saying, I'm overwhelmed. It's too many things on top of each other. Or I can go on saying, look, it's an intense time. I'm living my dream. What are you complaining about? You know what I mean? I'm tired as hell, and I need more concealer than usual. I was actually devouring fries at the top of this interview.
They were delicious.
And they were good, and it's because I'm stressed and I should not be eating that oil, but I ate it all. Hey, you just do the best you can every day.
Yeah.
I hope that I can do better at those self-care moments. I really look forward to that. But I also, for a long time, looked forward to this. Looked forward to being able to do what I wanted to do. And so whatever it takes to do that, even if sometimes it's uncomfortable, I embrace it.
This segment is called Pew 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 because these are finger guns.
Okay.
And this is our rapid fire question segment.
Okay.
Lots of goofiness, a little silly.
Okay.
Just like, let your hair down and whatever.
Okay.
What are you really bad at?
Dancing.
Really?
Oh, it's bad.
Aw.
In my head, I be grooving.
Right.
But doesn't quite come out right.
Oh, well, that's allowed. I won't tell anybody aside from everybody
Who sees me on the dance floor.
What is your pump-up song?
Right now, it's Remy Ma. Nothing Can Stop Me. I'm all the way up. That's the theme for the month because I feel like I need it. So I get in the car, and that is the rollout.
I love it.
I like it.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way.
Really is, and plus she's
a dope
been
MC.
through it too.
She's a dope MC.
She's so good.
Yeah.
So you are never not glowing about the face.
Okay.
What is your skincare regimen? How do we do this?
Wow, thank you. It's called Tons of Concealer. And, no, I actually always wash my face, and I always take up my makeup with Pond's cleansing towelettes. Shout out to Pons if you want to send me a box.
Pons,
it's fine.
send the woman a box of everything that you make. How dare you?
Gotta take your makeup off every night.
Yeah, I'm mad at that.
Gotta do it.
When and why did you decide to lock your hair?
Because I just always thought they were beautiful. I always thought they were beautiful. And I remember first locking them thinking, they're never going to be full and luscious and long. And so it really brings me joy when people are like, lock goals, Ava DuVernay. And it's like, yes, they're good. Yeah, and I'm lazy.
I respect that. Not that I didn't
because
respect
when I did not have locks, I was up in the shop every week. Like I was bone straight, extent, like it needed to be right. It was before the natural hair, so it had to be.
So you went straight from wearing your hair straight to locks?
I did a little twist year.
Uh-huh.
But I just always I thought they were beautiful and wanted some.
Who's the last person you got starstruck over meeting?
Harrison Ford. I was at a table. I was at a dinner, and they sat me next to Harrison Ford. This is the last person, not the biggest person, the last person. And he sat down, and I was like, you are Han Solo and Indiana Jones. Like, your face that's the face of...
I know that face.
It's the same face on your body right now that's in movies. Like,
you look the same in real life.
I was tripping out. I was like, this is Harrison freaking Ford, and he was a nice man.
Aw, they smell good?
He did smell good. His voice was the same and everything. He was him.
Oh, I love a good smelling man.
Eating salad.
Just eating food like normal
Like
people?
a normal person.
Do you still face microaggressions? Like, is there a point of fame that a Black person can reach that they never have to deal with that anymore?
It's really funny because I really, really think sisters think I'm famous, but nobody else really knows who I am. It's nice when I'm around sisters and they're like, and I'm like, but nobody else knows except us. Like, I'll be in the airport and a Black woman will be like, you.
I see you,
and
girl.
I'll be
I see
like,
you.
thanks, sis. And everybody else like, who is she? So I'm really I'm not famous. So yeah, microaggressions are a part of life. And I don't think you get so famous that night because I know a very famous person. Her initials are OW. Okay. And she... everyone has experiences. And look at our president. He's the most famous Black person in the world. Sure. It's not microaggressions. It's macroaggressions on the daily. So, no.
Imagine microaggressing Oprah Winfrey. Like, how dare you?
You don't even know you're doing it.
What? Oh, my gosh. Miss DuVernay, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Well, Miss Clayton, thank you so much for having me.
Let's do it again.
I'm looking forward to it, sis. Yay!
So if you just need some more Ava DuVernay in your life, I don't blame you, and you're in luck because she's everywhere right now. You can catch her new show, Clean Sugar, on OWN. You can follow her on Twitter at AVAETC, and her new documentary, The 13th, is coming out on Netflix and in theaters in October. I am still glowing a little bit after having met and hugged Miss Ava DuVernay.
Oh my God, you hugged her.
She knew who I was.
Oh my God.
I walked in the room and I was like, I'm Tracy. She was like, what's your last name? And I was like, Clayton. She was like, oh yeah, I know you. I follow you on Twitter.
Oh my
God.
God.
That's amazing. I was like, pardon me while I lay down and die.
Right.
But she was great. I wish I could have talked to her forever, never, never. But I couldn't. So that's over. And now it's time for me to tell you a story. With
awesome.
What happened was.
I love stories.
This is kind of a shitty story.
Oh, okay.
It's a little, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay.
So this is,
let me take a sip.
Yeah, do we need refills? Are we good? I'm good.
Can I get a refill? Okay. I kind of need a refill.
I would actually like a bit. So it's like a Thursday night, maybe Wednesday or Thursday night. We had just gotten off of work. It was me, April, who works at BuzzFeed, Drea, who used to work at BuzzFeed, and Albert, who currently works at BuzzFeed and has done some criminal justice reporting for another round. So if the name sounds familiar, that's why. So all the women involved, Black ladies, natural hair. The one man who was there is like ambiguously brown, right?
Right.
His actual background, he's Filipino and Lebanese. So we decided that we are going to go out, hit the town, have a couple of drinks, get in some trouble, make it home safely.
Right.
So we go to this place that we like to go to for hookah. and there's like, I guess it was like popping a little bit in there because there was like 2 or 3 bouncers outside.
Okay.
I never see bouncers there unless it's like a Friday or Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, okay, you know what, whatever. So Albert is walking ahead of us because he's got long legs and we don't. So we were walking kind of slow. And so he gets there first and we notice him just like walk past like they wave him into the hookah spot.
Right.
And so we get up and the same man who waved him through looks at us and is like, oh, I'm sorry, there's no more room. We can't let you in. There's no tables. There's no whatever. And I'm like, well, y'all just let him in. So what's going on? And the guy, and this was another like vaguely ambiguously brown type dude.
Right.
And he's like, oh no, I know him. This is my friend. This is my friend.
Oh no, he didn't.
I was like, oh really? Because this is actually our friend.
Right.
I was
And
like, Albert. Yeah. I was like, do you know him? And he's like, no, I don't know him. And so
Stop it.
instantly I'm like, I see exactly what's going on here, you know?
Right.
Because I mean, hello, you get used to this kind of treatment like early in life.
Right.
And so I start politely raising a little bit of hell. And I'm like, you know what? This feels very racially motivated to me, blah, blah, blah. And the dude just must have been like really feeling himself because he just starts talking all kinds of crazy.
Oh no.
And he's just like, oh no, I'm not that type of person, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, really? Because you just told me a lie. You just flagged in the one male, non-black male who was with us.
Right.
You're giving us shit. What am I supposed to think? And then this man, I had on a sleeveless shirt and he puts his hand on my shoulder. He touches my body.
He did not.
Yes, he
That's
did,
what you
Essence.
don't do.
That is what you don't. That's where you fuck up.
That's what you don't do.
Yes, that's when the thug clap comes out.
Right.
But he puts his hand on my shoulder. He's like, oh no, trust me, you're my type. And then like it gets worse, girl.
What? I need another sip. Lord.
Then he very like dramatically like almost turns me around a little bit to look at my ass. He's like, oh no, you're my type. You're my type. I am like, are you kidding me right now? So you're not going to let me into your establishment, but it's really important to you that I know that you would fuck me at the very least.
Right.
This is supposed to make me feel better.
Right.
And I was just like, I cannot believe this is really happening in 2016. And the other bouncers are just kind of like standing around, not really doing anything. And the whole time, what I didn't realize is that Albert is like silently stewing, apparently.
Yes.
And this is just like, just so mad. And so finally, he's like, you need to stop being a little bitch, and like gets in the dude's face.
Who says it's Albert?
Albert says that.
Yes, Albert.
But you know what's crazy though, Essence? Like even though like I know he's not a black man,
right?
In that moment, I felt like I was with the black man who was like,
yes,
like if the police come here, we're gonna have a whole nother issue because your little brown ass is gonna be laid out on the street somewhere.
Yep.
So I'm like, no, it's fine. I try to diffuse the situation. We head off down the street, and I'm just like, I can't believe that just happened. I can't remember if we went to another place after that, if we all went home or what.
Right.
But the first thing I thought was like, okay, when I get up in the morning, we're going to tell Twitter about this.
Yeah,
we're going to tell Twitter the story. So I sit down very calmly the next day and I fire off about maybe 20 tweets and I at the place directly,
Good
right?
for you.
And so they're like, oh my gosh, we don't stand for this at all. This isn't who we are, blah, blah, blah. And then they sent an email and they were like, you know what? We really want to make this right. We're going to exact disciplinary action on this guy, blah, 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 blah. And eventually I find out that he was fired, right? And I got mad at myself for feeling bad. I was like, oh,
Isn't
shit.
it crazy?
Right.
Like, because you should not feel bad. But I know exactly. What I know that feeling.
And I was so mad at myself. I'm like, this is a man who quite obviously is just like a mess.
Trash bag.
A trash bag. And I'm not the first person that he's treated that way.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So even though he deserved it, I was like, damn, man, I done got this man fired.
Yeah.
What if he like found my Twitter handle? Because I think everybody's a serial killer is going to come get me.
Me too.
I'm like, what if he starts stalking me? You
right.
know what I'm saying?
I always think like, what if they have children? Oh my God.
I know, that too. I was like,
I just took the cereal out of Junior's mouth.
Took the Rice Krispies right out of there. But a thing that I had to realize is that, like, I didn't do that to him. He did it to himself.
He did it to himself.
You know?
Exactly. Don't play yourself.
Don't. When you play me, you know what you
play
do?
yourself.
Girl.
You play God herself.
Oh, my God.
You better, come on, Beyonce.
Come on through here, girl. But anyway, I was fine, like, never going to this place again. I was like, well, you know, I really want y'all to know that him getting fired is not what I was after.
Right.
I was like, I would really like to come down and just like, you know, sit down and talk to somebody so I can give my side. Because I don't want you to think that I'm just some like rabble rousing or whatever. And that was probably me trying to assuage my guilt over him having been fired or whatever. And they were like, oh yeah, we would love to meet you. And if you and your friends want to come back, you know, for some light bites and drinks on us, that would be fine. And I wasn't even going to do it. But, and so I mentioned to them, I was like, yeah, they invited us back, but I don't think we're going to go. They was like, these are free drinks and they owe us. We need to go back. But in my head, I'm like, they're going to give us like a cocktail apiece and we're going to end up spending like $50, $60 on like
Right.
hookah or whatever. But we went back. In essence, when I tell you they treated us like kings and queens.
As they should have.
Oh my God.
As they should have.
We left there. We was leaning. We were full. We were happy. And I was like, you know what? This is how you do customer service.
That is exactly how you do customer service.
I was very careful to go to Twitter and be like, I love to complain when shit goes wrong, but I also like to give propers where they are due. So now everybody was like, okay, I guess I can go to this place again.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was just so crazy, like the roller coaster of emotions that I had as a woman who had been sexismed against and racism against.
Yeah.
And was completely like not in the wrong, but I still felt bad.
And you,
It's so frustrating.
It's so frustrating.
Just being a woman and just like the way that we are trained to apologize for
everything. Even when you're not in the wrong.
Even when you know you're not in the wrong.
Yeah. And you still just carry like this guilt. And it's
like I shouldn't have said anything.
Crazy.
I should have just gone home.
And it's like you know better, but it's still so hard to. I don't know what it is.
It's tough. But anyway, you are now able to go back to this particular hookah
place.
Yes,
because I'm not gonna front. When you were talking, I was like, oh, okay. Guess who won't be doing hookah now?
Now we can go and have
fun.
Right,
now we can go. Okay.
No.
Cute.
This has been so fun. Are you drunk yet?
I feel a little, woo-woo, a little groovy. I feel a little,
I think that's a yes.
Feel a little cute.
Okay, as you should. It's time to buy rounds.
Yes.
Do you have a round to buy for someone or something?
So, I was like, okay, who am I going to buy a round for? Or like, what am I going to buy a round? Because obviously, like, I listened to the show. So I was like, okay, I got to come correct. And so eventually I was just like, you know what? For this, my first time on the show, especially like, talking, beauty and hair, a lot of women like wrote in. I was like, I'm gonna just buy a round for Black girls. Every Black girl in the world.
I'm getting ready to cry.
This is for you. Drink up, sis. Yeah. Black women just inspire me every single day. Whether I'm walking down the street from like Penn Station to work and I see just like a fly ass Black girl or like, oh my God, yesterday I was walking and I passed this Black girl, just so beautiful, these like long ass box braids, like long for no reason. Like they were ridiculous, like to her ankles. I was like, girl, how many packs of Cankaline did that take? But just so beautiful, like the most. Like her skin, it was just so rich and dark. Like, how you see another fly girl, like, and you kind of like do that, like head nod, like, or a smile. And it was like that. We just had a moment. Yeah, like, I see you, girl. And I was just like, yes. Like, and her highlighter was bomb. Her skin was glowing. And I was just like, damn, like, Black women are just so, and I'm not even just saying this because I'm one. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Like, we are just the shit, man. Like, we are just so beautiful in so many ways, like, outside and inside. And I just want to buy a round for every Black girl to, let you know, like, you are the shit.
Yes.
And you are amazing. You inspire me. And I love you. I really do. I love you from the bottom of my heart.
So nice. You know things about us.
So, Tracy, what's your round? Who are you buying drinks for?
So, I would like to buy a drink for, this is kind of a big deal for me because I'm not one... I've never been known for saying nice things about New York.
Okay.
I consider myself, this is a phrase that I stole from Joel Anderson, who works at BuzzFeed and is my proclaimed nemesis. But this is a phrase I borrowed from him. I consider myself a Southern supremacist. And
oh my God, that is so funny.
I feel like because when I moved to Philly, people just like, I've never been so astutely aware of the fact that I'm a Southern person, that I'm from the South, until I got my Black ass out of the South. And
I was like,
I
know. You would be reminded every day.
Over and over. Sometimes it's cute, but other times it's like, you know what? You might want to watch how you talk to me.
Right, exactly.
So since then, coming to New York, I moved from my job, didn't want to move to New York. So already I was like, this city. It's cool for what it is, but it ain't all that. But I would like to buy a round for Brooklyn in the early morning hours.
Yes, you better be specific.
Specifically from like 7:15 to like 8:43.
Yes.
8:43.
Brooklyn is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
The people are beautiful too.
Oh my gosh. And Flatbush specifically, I feel like it's like it's going to be hit next on the gentrification train.
Absolutely.
Like it's the next stop. But it's not there quite yet. And so like, I don't do it often because I like to sleep.
Right,
So I'm
right.
not often just like running the streets in Brooklyn at 7 a.m. But when I am, like, it's just so quiet and peaceful. And it's like the city is just now waking up and the weather's usually nice. It's not that hot yet. And it's just, it feels like I'm walking through like a movie set,
Right.
you know? And it's moments like that where I'm like, I understand why people like this city. So that's my round. Shout out to Brooklyn in the morning between 7:15 and 8:43.
Amazing. And
Amazed.
The 6th second.
The 6th
That's
second.
very important.
Pacifically.
Specifically.
Essence, we are so close to the end, but we're not there yet because there's something really important that we have to do.
Okay.
This is an idea that I literally had 3 minutes ago, as you know, because you were here when the idea popped into my brain and out of my mouth. So when Heben is not here, I feel like we should end every episode, every taping session with just like a little Heben love fest, a little live love letter to Heben. So let's just like rattle off reasons that we love Heben for like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Is that good? Heben, I love the way that you laugh with your whole face and you throw your entire head back and you just let out a cackle that goes all the way to the heavens. Go.
Also, I love your hair so much. Oh my God. It's just so amazing. And you're amazing. Oh my God. Like, you're just so awesome. God.
You're so awesome. You made Essence angry.
Right. You're so awesome. I'm so angry.
How dare you, Heben? Right. How dare you bring so much joy into people's lives?
I know. It's honestly just not even right.
You are a flower.
You are the sunshine.
Damn you.
You are the moon.
And the stars.
Yes. And
Venus.
the grass.
Everything.
The really green kind.
Ooh, the real soft kind that you lay down in. Aww.
Yes. And you wonder, like, is this real or is it fake? Is this really nature? Like, you don't know.
But she is so real. We've gone over 30 seconds.
We have.
It's just because
we
have
love you,
so much
Heben.
love. We can't contain our love in 30 seconds. Who was I kidding? Essence, we did it.
We did it.
Your first ever co-hosting.
It was so fun.
Thank you so much to Miss Essence Gant for being my lovely co-host today. Where can people find you on the internet?
People can find me on Twitter. I believe my handle is at the essence of _. Yes, that is it. And you can also find me on Instagram like that. Or you can, if you search my full name, Essence Gant, not Grant, no R's, Gant.
Important to know.
Important to know. People be like, you misspelled your last name. I'm like, no, I didn't.
Girl.
So, yeah. But if you just put that in on Twitter or Instagram, I will come up. Follow me. Let's talk.
Yes, let's
be friends.
Aww. You can find me on Twitter at Broken McPoverty because I don't have no damn money. And as usual, you can find Heben on Twitter at Heben, like the place in the sky, and rants like the thing that white men love to do and pretend like This episode was produced by the Pod Squad.
Shouts out to the Pod Squad.
Yes, the best production crew in the land in any medium. I will put money dollars on that. My talking is hard. This episode was produced by Eleanor Kagan and Julia Furlan with production help from Meg Kramer. Thank you to Paul Ruest at Argo Studios. It's always a joy. Thank you to our in-house musicians, Miss Jean Gray. You can follow her on Twitter at Jean Greasy, and I think she has a new album that you should go get. And to Don Will of the Almighty Tanya Morgan, you can follow him on Twitter at DONWILL. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, email us on all the things. Another Round at BuzzFeed.com, Another Round on Twitter and Facebook. Sign up for our newsletter. We're going to fill it with a bunch of Essence's wonderful pieces. Go to BuzzFeed.com/AnotherRound/newsletter to do that. Go to shop.BuzzFeed.com to get you some Another Round merch. We got mugs. We got t-shirts. Get some. Send us pictures of you enjoying said merchandise. Yes. Drink some water, take your meds, call your person, floss your teeth. Do you have any good daily life advice for people?
I would just say choose to be happy. Just be happy.
So sweet. It made me sad because it's so happy. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes you just gotta be like, I'm gonna be happy. Like, sometimes life can suck. You have your moments. Like, life sucks right now, but you know what? I'm gonna be happy anyway. Even though I don't know how I'm gonna pay this rent tomorrow. I'm just gonna go down the street and smile, knowing I may have an eviction notice waiting for me when I get home. Just be happy.
Just be happy.
I only get one of these lives, man.
Also, see a dermatologist.
Yes, very important.
Important. Very, very important. Let's get out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
I had a lovely white crew member. He was like, "Ava, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah, honey, what's up?" He's like, "What shade?"
Oh, precious baby.
And I really had to.
Precious little lamb of God.
I was like, how do I describe shade? Anyway, the joys of black language.
Oh my.
Yes.
We could sit here
we
for
just come up with
hours and talk about it.
Yeah, anyway, we continue. What shade?
Did you just like kind of nuzzle him to
To my bosom.
your bosom and just no more words.
Right.